Two Cents, the podcast, with your host, Clint in Washington, and your co-host, DeAngelo Gillespie. Let's go.
Welcome once again to Two Cent, the podcast. And it is me, as usual, your favorite uncle, Uncle Clint. I'm here. I want to bring you guys some information, but before I do, I want to introduce you to my sidekick because due to contractual agreement, I have to introduce him. Yep. And I introduce him as Mr. Single in these streets.
I am Mr. Single. Hey, am I? Wait. Oh, I'm sorry. You need to turn me up in the headphones, man. I don't feel as powerful as I normally am. I know we've been off for a minute, but
yeah, let me get your headphones turned up.
Yeah, there we go. That sounds better. Hi. Yeah, man.
All right, your ego feeling better now?
Yeah, man. You know, my ego is feeling better now that Kate Brown is opening us back up. You know, trying to date and not having anywhere to take these dates only leaves one thing. You got to bring them to the house, and that gets tricky.
Man, does the turnstile ever stop?
First of all, I don't like what you're implying. Secondly, you mean the turnstile to my heart? No, I'm as open as I ever was.
That sounds horrible.
Nah, man.
That sounds like it needs a latex glove or something.
Nah, man. Tyler told me this week, don't be afraid to love, man. I'm trying not to be afraid.
Tyler West, it's not going to work.
Ladies, I'm open. I'm healing. This is a healing summer, ladies, and I don't want any of us to forget it. Okay?
This is going to be a hot summer.
For y'all, I got AC. I'll be fine.
All right, so, speaking of dating, going out in public, having fun, and, visiting different places, I know you got some traveling plans this summer. Are you vaccinated?
I am vaccinated, yeah. I got that Johnson & Johnson. I got that danger. I'm kidding, guys. Don't spread propaganda like that, boys and girls.
He got that mystical, that danger.
I got that one hitter quitter for real.
But I think that they reinitiated the use of Johnson & Johnson now, right?
Yeah, we back in the street.
Okay. All right. That's that cheap dope.
What? Moving right along.
Yeah, we gonna move away from that. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you can probably tell, this topic of conversation today or this episode is not going to be about DeAngelo's dating.
Mm-hmm. Y'all don't want to go down that road.
We don't want to go down that road. We already got 2 lawsuits. I'm sorry, we weren't supposed to say that publicly. We don't have any lawsuits. Sorry, lawyers. I forgot non-disclosures. But anyway, we're going to talk about vaccinations. Yeah. And more importantly, we're going to be educated by a representative of a program called Boost Oregon. And this is vaccination education. And we have a representative of Boost Oregon with us today. Her name is Ari O'Donovan. And we reached out to her because, you know what? Let me be honest. Okay. I've had my first dose of vaccine, and I was a little reluctant. There's a history behind vaccinations, even though I haven't experienced them, but I read about them. So I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. This might be some kind of government experiment.
I hate you for perpetuating this.
Yeah.
I just want to tell you that.
But you know what? I did it anyway.
Yeah.
I don't want to hurt people.
Yeah.
I don't want to, catch something and, end up in a very bad state like a lot of our fellow Americans have and our fellow humans have. Yeah, so I decided to get the vaccination. But I was a little reluctant. So Ira's going to help us and help give us some valuable information. Ira, how are you?
I am doing good. How are you guys?
We're doing good.
I'm all right. Safe and vaccinated.
We want to thank her for inviting us into her home. A lot of people wouldn't do that. So evidently she hadn't heard about our reputation. So,
or she got her firearm close. Either way.
Yeah. She got a taser firearm. I know she's keeping her husband close. He's silent but deadly.
Yeah.
So but we got invited to the home. We really appreciate it. So the first thing I look at when I go to the Boost Oregon website, it says inform parents for healthy kids. So let's start there. Give us a rundown of, what are we looking at when we're talking about Boost Oregon?
So when we first began, my manager started this nonprofit organization because she had just had a new baby. And her friends had kids, and they were of age to starting to get vaccines. And she noticed a lot of concern with her friends. These are educated people. They have the means to afford health care and vaccines, and they were still really, really hesitant about, should my child have these vaccines? Why do they need all these vaccines? So that got her thinking, too, well, if they're concerned, and these are educated people who have means and everything else, maybe I should be concerned about vaccines for my kids, too. So then she went to do a search online to find more information about vaccines. She couldn't find anything. Most of it came from the CDC or other sources that the public doesn't really trust that much. So she was like, I kind of want to start something where people can get information, honest, factual, evidence-based information, so that they can make the best decisions for themselves and their own kids. There's nothing around that's doing that. Let me start that so I can help other Oregonians, other parents, and families. It started out based in focusing on children's vaccines and families, and now we've expanded since COVID-19 happened so that we provide vaccine education to all communities.
What is the biggest myth when it comes to vaccine that needs to be dispelled, especially when it comes to school-age kids?
The biggest myth that I have come across, especially in the work that I do as Boost Oregon's Diversity Program Manager, is that vaccines are harmful. They're particularly more harmful than any other medication out there that people take. Okay. And they will cause a lot of serious problems for your health, and you should avoid them. It's so much better to just get sick naturally and develop immunity that way.
And that's the weirdest thing. So I have a friend of mine. We were raising young kids at the same time. And his child would have the snottiest nose. Outside, no socks on, in, cold, foul weather. And he was like, well, you got to get them used to the climate, so they don't get sick when they get older. Child is always sick. So that doesn't work. So I've been vaccinated my whole life. As a child, from measles, chickenpox, TB. In the military, you got a flu shot every year and other shots. I used to be up on, forced to be, get these vaccines. But there's a history where in this country that people have been used as experiments. I'm going there.
Yeah, but okay, listen. I said I was going to be good. Listen, I want people to stop saying that. It's like, I don't mind people saying things that are true, but historically, man, I hate to bring this about black people. Black people like to get a little bit of information, and then they are dangerous. Listen, people like to compare this vaccine to the Tuskegee experiment. I want you guys to know, no one gave these men syphilis. Mm-mm. This was a study, and it was under the guise of treating them for syphilis. They were not being treated. They were simply documenting and watching the progression of this virus in these men. That is what this is. They didn't give them shit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They didn't give them anything. I say this because it kind of really makes me upset when people use half-truths to defend their position. You can still not be for the vaccine, okay? I got the vaccine because I travel a lot. I'm doing a podcast right now. I'm in people's faces. I have grandparents. I don't want my grandmothers to contract this virus from me, just trying to go over their house, okay? I love my grandparents, okay? So I don't want my mom and dad to get this, So those are my own personal feelings, and I don't push those off on anyone. If you're not for the vaccine, then you're not for the vaccine. If you are, then you are. But I don't like when people take a little bit of history, a little bit of fact, and I am loosely calling this fact because people really believe that was about actually, administrating like some kind of vaccine to them. That wasn't what this is. And if you're listening and you're saying that, I want you to stop. I want you to call me so I can give you a book.
Now I want to take that apart a little bit right there, because that's true. None of these men were given syphilis. They had it.
Exactly.
The problem with people, what I'm seeing when I do my work that I see most commonly, that's something I have to correct, first of all.
Yeah.
But then after I've corrected that, they still want to talk about, well, they monitored them. They watched them for 40 years. It was a 40-year-long experience.
Exactly. And, and they wound up having to settle with these people's families. And I am not trying to say that this was okay to do. I'm not saying it was right. This is a blight on America and the society as a whole. I will say all of that. I will say that with you, and we can stand together and we can all say that. I would just like for you to stop putting the two together, because when you put the two together, that's when it gets really, really murky, man.
All right. So Doc, just on that one thing, because I think that's, especially in the Black community, that's the argument. Mm-hmm. What about the Tuskegee experiment?
Yeah.
So I know people may have heard it, but let's just go ahead and repeat it. And we're going to let Ira say that. So when you talk about that, how do we educate us on that? Let's start over at the beginning. Educate us on the Tuskegee experiment.
So first of all, let me give you some facts about the Tuskegee experiment. It lasted 40 years from the early 1930s into the early 1970s. Yep. And it was a government-sanctioned experiment. It was sanctioned by the public health officials as well. And they didn't give anybody syphilis, but they watched people and tracked them to see disease progression.
Yes.
Those people with syphilis ended up, a lot of them, passing it on to other people because they never got any treatment.
Right.
And that's where the problem is right there. All this time goes by, they never got treatment. If they tried to go to another clinic or something like that, they would get stopped by a nurse or someone at the front desk who would say, "We can't treat you, you have to leave." Because they were already informed. Do not treat the participants of this study. Tried to join the military, same thing. They knew they would have to treat them. So they said, you can't join the military. Didn't give it a reason why. Just said, you have to leave. We can't treat you here.
Mm-hmm. So do those, or did those participants know that they had syphilis?
Some of them didn't know. In fact, most of them didn't know. Okay. So then all this time goes by. Penicillin comes out as something that will treat syphilis. These people were never given penicillin. They were lied to. They were mistreated in that way. They were not given treatment when it became available, and it was proven that it was safe to take.
Okay.
That is the main problem, that when I come across Black people especially that are hesitant about vaccines and have issues with the medical field, that's the number one thing they bring up. It's the most common situation, and it was very serious. It was a very heinous past public health failure.
Exactly.
Once we get the facts understood, it's still terrible. You took a vulnerable population and you didn't inform them about the disease they had, how serious it was, the fact they could pass it on to other people, family members, anything like that. Nobody was ever informed. This lasted for 40 years.
So, in essence, with the big push of getting vaccinated for COVID-19, and I don't want to relate it to the basically denying the treatment of folks, but with COVID-19, it's almost like, okay, we've learned from the past. We can't play around with this thing. This can be spread. We've only been dealing with this about 18, 19 months now, or close to it, or whatever it is. And we're ahead of the game, so to speak. And, rest in peace to those who passed away from this horrible disease. But at the same time, treating this is going to prevent us from experiencing what the folks doing the Tuskegee experiment had to experience, right or wrong.
When you said it's gonna, no, because I think at the end of the day, this is still all about trust. This is not about COVID. It's not even about the vaccine. This is about Black America's distrust of the American government. If we was talking about anything else, we wouldn't be doing this. That's like people know to take Tums for heartburn. You see what I'm saying? Okay. No one has to sell you on Tums. I mean, if you Black and you're in the South, you can get a spoonful of mustard, but you all know how it go.
Mustard.
See.
You know, we use baking soda.
That's to brush your teeth, but we're not even going to talk about that. Listen, the point is, I think that the biggest thing here is, I really think we're talking about just Black people and their mistrust, and I really hate to talk about my people on live like this, but I feel like Black people keep moving the needle, because if you told somebody, hey man, let me inform you about what you're saying, and let me prove to you that what you're saying is wrong, then they'll say, well, I have no reason to trust the government anyway. Okay, but that's not what you said. You were saying you believe that people were being given stimulus. That's not what you said when you told me you didn't want to do it. But you're absolutely right. You don't have. Only thing I'm saying is you don't have to reach at that straw. There's plenty of straws we can reach at for Black people to not trust the American government. Okay, what I'm saying is I would like Black folks, and I would like white folks as a whole, not to use that excuse again.
Okay, here's another excuse. If you're vaccinated, why are you worried about me not being vaccinated? How do we answer that?
So here's the thing. If one person gets vaccinated and you have someone that's not, yes, that person who got vaccinated is more protected against getting COVID-19, especially it becoming an issue of now it is deadly. It could send you to the hospital or you could die. But the thing is, we all need to get vaccinated because it's the only way that we're going to have that community immunity to where vulnerable people in the population, seniors, very young babies, can be protected. Just because you develop COVID-19, for example, and it's asymptomatic, you don't even know you have it. It's not causing you no harm. You haven't gone to the hospital. You're living your life and you're living your best life. You're not worrying about anything like that. You could still pass that on to, for example, a grandparent. And now they end up in the hospital. They might die. And it's all because you weren't vaccinated and you gave somebody a disease that couldn't get vaccinated.
Okay. So let me take this back to a little bit to my childhood. All right.
Oh, no.
I had chicken pox.
That was a long time
ago. Right. Oh, we going there, huh? We getting personal, all right? Okay. It's all right.
The Black Plague is over, man. Let it go.
That's that's cold. Okay. I'm not that old, but
okay.
I still see your gym workout isn't working, but we're not going to talk about that.
Gyms are closed. Shout out to Kate Brown.
All right. Listen, man, you got to stop playing so much. This is a very serious subject.
Okay.
We got chicken pox, we got measles. I was vaccinated for both, and I'm not sure when, but I know at one point I had chicken pox. Around 2019, there was an outbreak of measles in both Seattle and Oregon. Is vaccinations really working, or are people not getting vaccinated?
So first of all, people do need to get vaccinated. Vaccines only work when people get vaccinated. What has happened over time, this is the first pandemic that America and the world has seen in years and years and years. People may have stopped getting vaccinated for chickenpox and measles because you don't ever see it.
Yeah.
Nobody has measles anymore. Nobody has chickenpox. So you think to yourself, well, these must not be that serious of diseases or problems because nobody has ever has these problems anymore. And then vaccination rates go down. When vaccination rates go down, then you see a resurgence of these diseases and you are reminded that these are very serious. They can cause serious complications. They can cause death. They can cause hospitalizations, all of that.
You know, I never really thought about it like that where, the vaccination rate's going down. I'm just assuming that at least everybody is getting vaccinated. you know, with the, you know, at least the common things that we know to get vaccinated about.
Well, I you know, and speaking just to what you said earlier when you said, well, why should I get vaccinated? Because a lot of people who are on their CMOS regimen, you know, and running 6 miles every day believe, well, my immune system is fine. And it goes back to what she just said, like, who's talking about you? You know, just because I believe my immune system to be fine. Since the pandemic has started, I haven't, where's the wood? I haven't had as much as a sniffle. You know what I'm saying? And I still got the vaccine, because even before I got the vaccine, I know I had about 5 different COVID tests. We're doing a podcast in your home right now. Like, at some point, you must take some kind of accountability for yourself. Like, because if you invite me in your home, I can tell you whatever I want to tell you. You know what I mean? But when you rather me be able to show you a test, and kind of early on, that's what we were doing. And I say all that to say to anybody listening, like, let's say that you're fine and you're great and you're Superman and you never had a sickness in your life. I don't think this is about you. I think this is more about how you can impact the people around you and just caring about them, you know. So I just want to piggyback on what
That's
she
right.
said about that.
We have to take care of each other, because it's very easy to say, well, I feel fine. I work out. I'm active. I never get sick. I never get colds. I never have any types of problems like that. I don't need to be vaccinated.
Yeah.
It's not just about you. It's about people that you love.
Yep.
It's about community, and we have to be each other's keeper, especially in the Black community.
So, Ira, let me ask you this. All right. You came to us, and, you know, well, you didn't come to us. We found you, dude, Black Portland, Adrian Wright. He said this should be a great topic to talk about. Why is the COVID-19 vaccination, why does it matter so much to you? Why is it so important?
Well, the COVID-19 vaccine is very important to me because of everything that I've been through this far with my mom. In, I believe, August of 2020, she was diagnosed with dementia.
Okay.
My mom was born and raised in Oregon. She's been fighting for social justice most of her life, especially her young life here. She has owned a beauty salon called Golden's House of Style for 42 years. In the Black community, it's a Portland landmark. She developed dementia, and it would have to be during a pandemic, something I've never experienced, something she's never experienced. She couldn't understand what the mask was for. I'm like, Mom, you got to wear this mask. It's really important. You got to do this. They won't let you go into anywhere unless you wear it. And then over time, I started to realize something's not right with her. She can't seem to remember stuff. So then she went to the hospital, and she was diagnosed with dementia. And it was fine for a while because I was able to go visit her at the hospital. And she was there for quite a while as doctors were trying to figure out, you know, how severe is the dementia? Is it really dementia? And that was fine for a while. I enjoyed visiting her. It was a hard situation. It was hard on me and my family. But when she was transferred to a memory care facility, everything was on lockdown because of COVID-19. I could not go visit her anymore. And I would be visiting her 2-3 times a week at the hospital. I'd be wearing masks. Everybody had to. And I'd be visiting her and trying to stay as connected as I could. That's my mother. She's my best friend. She's always been there for me, and I got to be there for her. When she entered the memory care facility to be somewhere where they could give her the care she needed 24 hours, I can't do that. My brother's not situated to do that either. And I couldn't visit her. I remember crying to her. She cried to me, and I told her, Mom, you got to be strong for me. I can't do this if you can't do this. We will get to see each other and hug each other again, but I need you to be strong for me. And I knew that they were going to come out with a vaccine. And I was hoping, please come out with a vaccine. Please get one approved so that she can take it, so I can take it, so that everyone can take it, or at least think about taking it, so we can get back to some sort of normality, so I can see my mom again. I can't sleep at night. I can't really function without knowing that I can be around her. And then they did. They released COVID-19 vaccines. She got vaccinated. She was in a priority group. And then I was also in a priority group a little later on, and I got vaccinated. And after that, they said, okay, you're both vaccinated. A lot of other people have gotten vaccinated. We can allow you into the facility to visit your mom. And it was one of the happiest days of my life because I was finally able to see her again. And I never would have been able to, I don't think, fast enough without a vaccine.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to get too far up, away from Boost Oregon. How is I know that Boost Oregon, I guess, from what I've interpreted, you guys are a tool to research for education on the vaccines. Exactly how are you guys going about getting this message out to people?
So with all the work that we've done with children's vaccines, help prepare us for what's happening now with the COVID-19 vaccines. Whenever we educate the community through our workshops that we do virtually now, and any of our resources, printed resources, anything like that, we never approach people trying to incite fear. We try to understand people, and we take their questions and we try to understand where you're coming from. We want to meet you where you are and understand you and your concerns. When the Black community is concerned about past public health and governmental failures, anytime I come along that, I'm like, I applaud you. You're doing the right thing. You are skeptical for a reason. You are considering the world around you, and you are making decisions based on that. You're using critical thinking. And then I try to present them with facts, but I also try to listen. I want to understand you, who you are, and why you feel like you do first, because you can't answer a feeling with a fact. You have to answer a feeling with a feeling. And then I can give you some information once you understand that I'm trying to understand you and who you are.
That's a gem right there. I've never heard anyone say that, but that's a gem right there. I'm going to take that. I'm going to say it to somebody, and they're going to think I'm intelligent. That was good. You said you can't answer a feeling with a fact.
Yes.
Oh my God,
that's
a Facebook post.
Nah, I know. That's like saying men can't be talking to women about how men feel. I'm sorry, that was almost misogynistic. I mean, kind of, but no, I get what you said. I got one more follow up to that. So you guys, Boost Oregon was going on before this pandemic, and were you guys focused on children and on children's vaccinations? Is that how this started? And due to the pandemic, you guys just branched out to okay.
Exactly.
Because I didn't know much about. I mean, I don't know why I would be dealing with children's vaccines, but still, I didn't know about it. So I guess I just wanted to kind of get some feedback on what you guys were doing before this, and yeah, okay.
So I gotta ask this question, Doc. So you spoke about your mom being diagnosed with dementia, and I'm quite sure that was something that was it was hard, something to deal with. But are you, and I'm going to ask this question, and I'm about to go up on this hill. Might die on this hill. She might kill me. All right. But do you think you have a bias when it comes to this COVID-19 vaccination because it was more something that was personal to you?
That's a good
because you wanted to see your mom. So, of course, you're going to be an advocate for COVID-19 vaccinations. But is it more personal, or is this something that's really good and needed for the public?
So that there's a lot of information. There's a lot of answers to that right there. Yes, it is personal to me. I am pro-vaccine, and the situation with my mom, all the knowledge that I have about vaccines and what I do for work was connected to that. I'm totally biased. At the same time, I'm objective enough to step outside of myself and be able to say, why would anyone else care about this?
He's so extra. He's so extra, dog. He's so extra. I really like that answer because you didn't shy away from not understanding that there is a bias there. You know what I'm saying? Because you're right. Like I am pro-vaccine as well. However, if this makes sense, I'm not anti-vaccine. I see. If I really said how I feel, people fine. I'm gonna say it. I don't care. How long we been here? Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. Everybody who say they don't want the vaccine, I always say this to them, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't care how y'all take this. I've always asked them, would you be willing to quarantine in a state with just other people who feel like you? That way y'all can die off together.
Ooh.
Now, and listen. Hey, listen. If your immune system is as good as you
just said
if
that.
your yo, you be doing too much. Listen, if your immune system and this sea moss and your green tea and your superfoods got you like that, then just simply quarantine yourself off. I would love for everybody in Oregon who don't want the vaccine to go to South Dakota together. That way we can go ahead and open up, and I can get back to doing what I do, and we can make some money out here, and we can go back to, and the small businesses can do what they're gonna do. Like, or I remember I have a friend. She's a nurse, and she said she is anti-vaccine, and I said, okay, seeing that you work in the healthcare field, and my grandparents, they may come to the hospital for checkups and things like that. Would you be willing to risk your pension on getting my grandmother sick? See what I'm saying? Now, if you get
so
her,
wait, back up to that, because I remember you brought this point up, and it's a very good point.
If you get her sick, and God forbid she passes away, can we scrap your 401k on it?
So you got to turn over your 401k.
Well, you decided you wanted to play with fire, and you're betting on the fact that this couldn't be real to you.
Accountability.
Accountability. If it was real to you, if it meant anything to you, if you are so sure that you won't have it and you won't give it, if this can be traced back to you, that you caused this, can I have my pound of flesh? I mean, you don't want to get the vaccine. You don't want to help be part of the solution. You also don't want to stay your ass in the house. You also don't want us to fire you. First of all, I'm all for healthcare facilities go ahead and terminating the employment of these people, because I want some shit like, hey, that's fine that you don't believe in this. All right, we got about 1 million people who died who say they do believe in it. All I'm saying, and people are like, oh, those are inflated numbers. Well, how many is okay? Watch this. I don't want 20 people dying. I don't know 20 people that I'm okay with dying. So can we all agree that 20 people died from COVID? Now, we can agree with that, and we can agree that your negligence has caused this. Is it okay that we go ahead and take our pound of flesh from you? Because that's where I'm at with it. That's how I truly feel about it. And once again, some people, I understand you guys can't have a vaccine. Some people have reactions. All unfortunate, man. I don't know about Oregon, but Georgia is the right to work state. We don't need no reason to get your pawn out the paint, player. We can just put this shit on your desk and ask you to go in there.
But wait a minute. So listen, okay. If you're anti-vaccination, and let's say just COVID-19, a lot of my friends are conspiracy theorists. They think the government is behind this. This was the liberals' way of keeping Trump out of the White House and making him look bad. All the ridiculousness. But these are true feelings that people are having. So now we're in this COVID-19. We're into our second year of it. I think about 18 months into it.
I don't think we're not yet into 2 years, but it's long enough.
Yeah, it's been too long. Mm-hmm. And businesses are suffering. Our leaders are making decisions that not a lot of us agree with, because this also affects our other businesses. But at what point do we accept that lives are being lost and that we have to do something? Because me personally, listen, I'm blackety black. I believe that the government has the ability to concoct whatever they want to in order to hold whatever group back. I truly believe that. But at the same time, I'm looking at facts. I'm looking at data. And the facts of data is not from the CDC. It's not from any medical facility. It's from my friends. I've had friends who have been in the hospital for 90 days. And although I'm not a medical expert, I know that they would tell me that's the worst experience they ever had in their life. How can you go 90 days and you can't breathe? 90 days you can't see your kids. I have a friend, Ken. He couldn't see his wife, his daughter, his grandkids. And he was there suffering from, I think, January to like March. And to this day, he can't stand up without running out of breath. And this is not something that he had some other medical condition. He wasn't sick. He didn't have anything else. This was COVID, 100% COVID. But, and I say all that to say this, you know, at what point do we stop playing these fucking games? And we start to realize that it's time for us to accept the responsibility that, to accept the fact that this is real. Yeah. This is not some government conspiracy. This is not some political conspiracy. Yeah, somebody is probably inflating a state's number or something like that.
But it's not real till it touch you, man. It's not real till it touch you.
Exactly.
Like before suicide hit my family, I thought this was something white people did. Black people don't kill themselves. Black people deal with it. We put our head down and we work through it. But when suicide did touch my family, now this is an opportunity for us all to hold each other a little closer and us to examine mental health in the Black community, the stigma around it, the reason why we don't talk about it. We need to hug our kids a little more. We need to tell people we love them. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But before, what are you talking about? Kill yourself. No, you're going to get you a job and shit, save some money. But it never even occurred to me that killing myself was a viable option growing up. I know that I didn't like being broke, or I didn't like the situation I was presently in, but like that didn't. But when it touched my family, it was like, okay, now you can stop playing with this. You can stop joking about it. The shit ain't funny. You see what I'm saying? And I think that's kind of how COVID is. I know people who have passed away from COVID. See, and if you know people who have passed away from it, what you don't do is keep on giving excuses why you cannot be a part of the solution. You stop saying shit about CMOS. You stop saying shit about
okay, so you mentioned CMOS a couple of times.
I'm sorry.
Explain to folks. Explain that to folks.
I don't know unconfrontational, respectable way to say.
And you have never been non-confrontational.
I don't know a respectable way to say that this virus don't give a fuck about what you take. I don't know a way to say
okay,
that.
What is the CMOS?
Clint, there are people who believe that you can take things that can boost your immune system so far to an extent to where you can get sick by certain things. It's like urban myths. Like when I was in college, it was this chick who used to take a bunch of vitamin C and said we didn't have to use condoms because she wouldn't get pregnant. And y'all ain't never heard that shit. Y'all never heard that shit.
Never.
So she was like load up on a bunch of vitamin C and shit. I mean, she don't got a baby by me, but she wound up having a baby. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, I'm sorry. Guys, I don't want to run us off. And the reason why I don't want to go down, because I don't want to make light of anybody's
oh, my goodness.
Anybody's theory about how not to get sick.
But I want to go back to that,
Have
though.
you heard that?
I've never heard anything like that. What I will
Only
say,
in DeAngelo's world do they speak like that. That's a whole different language of ignorance right there.
Hey, no, why you bullshitting? You know it, so you should stop.
It does. It does have to affect you, though. You have to. We don't function, humans, people. We don't function off of reason.
Yeah.
We have to experience something. We have to be touched by something. Have to have somebody else that was touched by it, or you have to find some sort of connection to reach me specifically.
Right. Or
I'm never going to even consider going whatever direction you're trying to lead me in.
So let's kind of backpedal a little bit. Let's go back to Boost, Oregon. And I want people to understand that this is just not about COVID-19. This is about stopping the spread of diseases by getting vaccinated. And I want you guys to go on to Boost, Oregon, read it, research, do your own research. You know, compare it to other information that you're getting in other places, because it comes down to one thing. Do we live or do we die? Do we survive these pandemics by the information that's given to us? Because, hey, listen, I'm no expert. There's no experts in the room. We're all advocates for making humanity better. So let's talk about your peer advocacy program. Tell us about that.
So we started the peer advocacy program earlier last month, and it just began. And with all the work that I've done out in the community, I've come to find that I can't live anybody else's life. I can only live my life. And I can only really know my specific community. But I want to reach other communities. Boost Oregon wants to reach other communities. Well, how can we do that? We have to get people from those communities to speak to other people within the community. Those are the best teachers. They're the best educators. They're the people that you're going to trust the most. Trusted community members. So we have put out part of our website, and we want to encourage people to sign up and volunteer with us. We will give you all the information that you need to educate your own peers. That way, you can talk to the people that would trust you but might not trust me as much, might not trust our medical educators as much, but they will trust you because you belong to that community. We'll provide you with everything you need, printed and digital resources, space rental. If you need catering or snacks or food or anything, we'll provide you with that. You'll always have us as a resource. You set up an event, whether it's 5 people, you're talking to 200 people, 20 people, we'll always be there to help you. We'll assist you every step of the way. We'll help you set up the events. We'll give you the information you need. We'll teach you how we educate community members, and you can tailor it to your own way to reach your own community. You need an interpreter, we will get you an interpreter. We know that we can't reach every community. It's hard for someone like me, perhaps, to reach the Russian community. But if there's a member of the Russian community that wants to work with us, and we can provide you with resources and teach you how to educate, they can go into that community and make a much greater impact than I could, which is what we want. We want to reach every single community in Oregon.
What is the biggest roadblock that Boost Oregon is facing right now?
Right now, people are feeling like the pandemic, these deaths, the numbers are not real. It hasn't affected them specifically, so they think it's not that big of a deal. They're scared of the vaccines because they seem like they were developed way too fast. And now with what you've heard about the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, it's gotten people really scared. They feel like it's kind of an experimental thing, and they're like, you know what? I have never seen a vaccine develop so quickly. I don't think I want to take something that just has happened so fast. I'll take my chances getting sick.
So, DeAngelo, this is towards you because we spoke on it before. Now I got this excuse. Johnson & Johnson vaccine has proved to be, it has side effects. You took the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. What's your take on it?
Man, there's people who can't eat shrimp. Shit. I mean, listen, man. Listen, I don't want to make light of the recall. Listen, so Johnson & Johnson, just in case you guys are not aware, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine was proven to give 6 women, I believe, blood clots.
Right.
Now,
out of how many people who were vaccinated?
At the time I looked at it, was 7 million.
So 6 out of 7 million.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's 6 people. I mean, we still should be concerned, right?
Well, first of all, I'm a man, so I'm batting 1,000 over here. But, however, sir,
you know what? That's why we get the bad reviews from women because of you.
First of all, no, we should absolutely be concerned, but we should be concerned about it as much as we're concerned about anything. Like I said, and I mean, I was being funny when I say people are allergic to shrimp.
They are.
People need their goddamn EpiPen every day, B. You know what I'm saying? I mean, okay, listen, man. All jokes aside, I understand that. And you know what? First of all, what people should have said when they saw that story was 6 out of 7 million, and they stopped production. Clint, me and you had a business, and 6 out of 7 million people got sick from our catfish. The catfish is on the menu, motherfucker. I'm telling you.
It's still gonna be on the menu.
Catfish is on the menu, baby.
I'm sorry.
Hey,
them 6 people, we gonna give you a 20% discount on your next order of catfish. But that catfish gonna be on the menu.
Damn right, because by the time we get 12 people sick, fucking 14
Hey, shout
million,
out to
I'm
Clinton's
about that
Kitchen.
catfish. 14 million, I'm about that catfish plate. Get out of here, man. I can do math. Fuck out of here. No, but seriously.
No, I understand. We make fun of it, but
I understand this. No, I understand it's a problem, man. But there's nothing absolute, man. People have allergic reactions to everything, and I don't know, man. We are in new and strange times. Like when people say shit like, "Well, this vaccine was developed quickly." I think enough people have died. I
agree.
I think we should get on it. I mean, shit. If we go to work tomorrow and our bosses tell us, "Hey, this is going on. This is something that is affecting the entire world. I need all hands on deck. I need us to try to put something together." And if it takes us 2 years to do it, I still think we late. Mm-hmm. We are supposed to be the most brilliant minds in the world. So if it's 2 years and almost 1 million damn people have passed away, probably over 1 million at this point, when exactly should we start trying?
So wait. So speaking of that,
I would like everybody to take a poll and see who want to do this for another 5 years. Now, if you volunteer to do the pandemic for another fucking 5 years and wear your mask, and we can throw you in jail for not wearing your damn mask, then let's take our time on this vaccine. But if you're ready to go back outside and not wear this mask, then I feel like we should try to make some small strides. And sometimes we are going to have to take 1 step back and 2 steps forward. But if you can't understand that, then you should go in the damn room with the children while the adults.
You cold. So listen. All right. COVID is something we can find on a bleach bottle. Right? You can find it as it kills COVID. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you know, DeAngelo. I don't know if you know. I definitely don't know. COVID and COVID-19. All right. I'm baffled and confused because when this COVID-19 thing, I'm gonna call it a thing. Pandemic. Whatever we want to call it. Pandemic is, that's the sexy word.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the sexy word.
That shit ain't sexy.
You know what? But you know what? It's like COVID is on the back of some of our cleaning solutions, and it says prevents COVID.
Saw somebody was drinking bleach. Did you see that story?
I see. Yeah. Oh, the stupidity of it. Our society is so intelligent but ignorant as hell at the same time.
I'm not even going to say what I was going to say because that's kind of thing you really can't say out here. Never mind.
We believe in the First Amendment, but if it's going to cause us viewers, please don't say it. He's thinking about it.
I know I am. Never mind.
Hey, sometimes you got to rely on your first mind. But, some of these cleaning solutions says it kills COVID. And I'm like, okay, let's get back to the governmental conspiracy. COVID. Bleach kills COVID. How did we end up in this COVID-19? And maybe but how did we end up in this COVID-19? Because if 409 kills COVID,
I'm curious to know where you're gonna go with this. Let's hear you, Wuhan.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Okay, how do we end up in this COVID-19?
Listen up, because this is going to be good. Now, I'm not a doctor, but I do know a lot of stuff because I have to for the position that I have. So one thing I will tell you, this is a novel coronavirus, COVID-19. There are different types of coronaviruses. SARS, MERS, those are also coronaviruses. When those were happening, scientists and researchers rallied together and started doing research, started to try to build vaccines and use technology to deal with those problems.
Okay.
Those types of COVID. Now, all this time later, COVID-19 comes around. It's a novel coronavirus. But the technology from SARS and MERS can still be used. All that research can still be applied to this coronavirus. So when people say that the vaccines that are out right now they were developed way too quickly, well, they had a head start. with SARS and MERS research.
Okay. See.
Oh, I saw where she was going.
You know, you got
to hit cheer, and I was like, yeah.
Hey, listen, you don't have to be the smartest person in the room. You just got to have a smart person in the room.
Hey.
You know,
spoken. Hey, hit dog will holler. Spoken from the dog.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. You know, I feel like I can go get a medical degree.
Right. No.
Okay, no? Okay. All right. I won't do open heart surgery next Tuesday like I was planning, but
stick to the podcast.
All right, I'll stick with the podcast. So we're at that point to where we understand that because of other viruses, we created this vaccine. It was already pretty much on the shelf. We just had to add some new ingredients. I guess that would be, you know, just speaking in, you know,
I got a question.
My high school education, just adding some extra ingredients to the already, you know, vaccine.
Had to make the technology and the research more specific to this particular coronavirus.
Absolutely.
And we were able to do that because the government poured a lot of money into companies that can develop these vaccines to get them developing them. Vaccines generally are not profitable to pharmaceutical companies.
Right.
You're going to make a lot more money off of the medication used to treat cancer, to treat Hep C, than you are going to make off of any vaccine.
Absolutely.
So the government poured money and resources into the companies that could make the vaccines to get them to make them. And then they went through an entire approval process, the same process that any other vaccine available goes through, to make sure it is safe, it is manufactured properly, and it's effective.
I want people to stop saying this is not approved by the FDA. Some of these vaccines, I just want you to know, you guys can do your own due diligence and find out which ones are. But stop saying shit like that, man. Like, it's fear-mongering. You know what I'm saying? It really is. And once again, I don't care if you get the shit or not. I got it. You can say anything.
So you going to Spain next week?
I'm finna go to Colombia. I'm finna go to Spain. I seen y'all last in the Maldives, and no, that shit is on sale right now. You're damn right I'm going. And honestly, I can't wait for them to outlaw y'all ass on these flights with me. I would appreciate if I don't care if y'all got y'all masks, if y'all ain't vaccinated. I want them to stop them from flying. I want them to revoke passports. I mean, this is where I'm at with it. I don't want to get sick.
I think by far you are an evil person. You don't want to see someone go on vacation.
First of all, I fly standby a lot of times. I damn sure don't want you making this flight. I can't wait till they ass slow y'all ass down and these damn flights come back down. All y'all ass flying again. Got this shit tough for me to get around. I'm trying to go to a bachelor party in New Orleans. Oh, we finna get wide open. Anyway, not the point. I knew there was a question. There was a question there.
You know what? I forgot the question.
I have a question. So, what is right now? Clint asked you what was your hurdle, like where we are right now. What can we do? And when I say we, our listeners, me, Clint, and you know what? I don't even want to say to get people to take the vaccine. What can we just do to be safer in this pandemic? Because I think there's a lot of different things we can do. Even if you're not going to take the vaccine, I feel like there's still, best known practices that we can follow.
Absolutely. The best thing you could do is to get vaccinated. But if you're not ready to do that, if you don't have enough knowledge about anything yet to decide to do that, there's a lot of other stuff you can do too. Social distancing, keep wearing masks, avoid large groups, wash your hands often. It's kind of crazy that we need to tell people to do that because you should be doing that type of thing anyway. But wash your hands, wash surfaces, clean surfaces often, wash your hands for 20 seconds at a time. These kinds of things just by themselves can improve everything that's going on and push us closer to an end to this pandemic if we just do those things regularly.
You know what? I'm going to tell you something. If I don't see you walking around with ashy hands, I don't think you've been washing your hands.
Man, people have only been washing their hands for 2 years. You told people to wash their damn hands last year, they were surprised. They done had damn soap on their count, the same soap for a year.
You know what? Listen. It take them 6 months to go through a bar of soap to wash their hands.
I'll be honest with you though. I use that good coconut and eucalyptus from Bath and Body Works. Everybody washing their hands at my house now.
Man, listen.
I'm about to put out honestly, when you go to my house, I got the dowel on one side and the Bath and Body Works. Use the dowel, especially if you're a man.
Use the dial soap.
Yeah, the foaming eucalyptus and coconut. Those are for the ladies.
Mr. Single out here in the street has given you some health advice on how to use the soap at his house.
I'm gonna get in trouble for that line. That's not. That's not gonna be funny to everybody.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Especially the person that bought you the soap.
That was unnecessary. That's exactly what I was thinking about. That was.
Hey, you know what? And it's funny because it's like people tell me, why you hate on your boy so much? Because it's fucking funny, man. It's the funniest shit. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. I wake myself up and I go, ha, ha, ha. But I'm telling you, it's.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If it's funny, me and Clint a lot. Like, it's okay. If it's funny, go ahead and say this. I'm gonna laugh with you.
Yeah. It be some hilarious shit, and it's what makes the partnership continue to grow.
Yeah.
Listen, so as we focus on COVID-19, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this has been hell for a lot of us. And you know, I was thinking of this the other day, and I know you hate dead space. I know you hate when I pause and.
I'm getting better by not trying to, when he pauses on the podcast or when a guest pauses on the podcast, just the host and me and the.
Wait. Hey, you know what? I'm
Is
selfish.
this a shameless plug time?
Yeah, shameless plug.
Hey guys, I know we're talking about COVID and social distancing. And you know where we are social distancing? We're social distancing every Friday night at Mingle Lounge for 2 Cent the Podcast. It's not 2 Cent the Podcast. It's 2 Cent the Open Mic, hosted by me, DeAngelo. Clint is there. He's DJ, whoever he is that night when he's there. But no, we have a good time. We are social distancing. We do have indoor and outdoor seating. We got fire pits. It's real sexy downtown at 322 Northwest Everett Street. So if you are listening to this podcast and if it is Friday or near Friday, or you're looking for plans for Friday, please come out and see us. I want to tell you to get there at 7, but don't, because you'll probably see us setting up. So get there about 7:30, 7:45.
He's gonna make them suspend our contract. Lord Jesus!
No, we have a good
starting
time.
to sweat.
Have a good time out there. If you are a poet, if you are a singer, if you're a comedian, if you just want to come on stage and tell me about your day, your ass got 5 minutes to do it. And we have a good time, man. Come on out, Portland, Oregon, and come out to Mingle Lounge.
All right, so since we did the shameless plug, and I gotta talk to Maria, our PR rep, and see what she's gonna charge you for that.
For what?
Yeah, because you gotta pay for that plug.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta pay for that plug.
It's all good.
You gotta make some money around here. Gotta pay the bill, keep the lights on.
Shout out to everybody that helps out 2 Cent the Podcast. That's not me and Clint.
Yeah, shout out. So I mean, we getting so off target. So now listen, we got COVID-19. This has been ruining our livelihood since around, I'm gonna say December, because I had a couple friends who got sick and they just couldn't understand what was going on. They had got sick.
You mean last December though, right?
Yeah, last December. December 2019.
I don't think I took it seriously about February.
Right. And, I had so many friends. I remember my friend Ivan. Ivan was so sick. He couldn't do nothing but sleep. But one of the things was his fever was so high, he was hallucinating. Luckily,
I know that.
Is that a word? Luckily? No. I'm going to go, fortunately, he's in good health and he was able to bounce back. But I remember how nervous his wife was because, this man fever was so high, he was hallucinating. He's a 49ers fan, so they hallucinate about winning. But I'm sorry. But anyway, the thing about it is, man, we've been in this pandemic for well over a year. Businesses have been ruined. Places have been closed down forever. Your husband, Casey, he was talking about, those places that we can't go and eat at anymore, And the pandemic has been horrible. And the advice I want to give to people, and this is not medical advice, this is just my opinion. We got to get out of our own heads. We got to stop listening to the past. We know what happened, you know what the government has done. But you know what? Just look at what's in front of you. That restaurant down the street that's closed down now. The big corporations that have come in and swooped in and took over those properties to build their businesses because they got billions of dollars to lose. They can play that game. But, the small business guy, he lost out. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if we were more equipped to fight this pandemic, if we would have saved businesses, if we would have saved livelihoods, because, my small business suffered. It continues to suffer. Last week, we didn't have 2 Cent to open mic because we had to shut down the city.
Shout out to Kate Brown again.
This week,
I love her.
Something happened, and we can open up the city, but we can only open up at 25%. So imagine this: you have a location that you're operating your business from, but you only allow 12 people. Yeah. Mm-hmm. My business can't survive off of 12 people. Mm-mm. It cannot survive off of 12 people. I have friends who are also in the same industry, and we're all fighting the same fight. We can't survive off of 12 people. Mm-mm. So the thing that they allow us to do, okay, you can move your customers outside. This is Oregon, people. It fucking rains.
Half of our conversations are just brainstorming on how to beat this pandemic and how to stay relevant, and how, for us, for me and Clinton, this pandemic was a time for me and him to get more serious about our projects. And we have been blessed to be able, what this really did for me and him, it allowed us to branch out on some things, pull back on some things, because we were able to see the board a little bit better with the things that they take away from us. Like, 90% of me and his talks are, what are we going to do about this? And what are we going to do about that? But it's not unique, because there's a lot of businesses suffering. You know what I mean? Luckily, a podcast is something that you can continue to do. But even in doing this, still, we need to be vaccinated. We need to make sure that we still being safe. We are still in the public. We still in here with you right now. So it's just about, for us, finding a better way to do things. And honestly, us personally, I think we'll be better after this, because we have been through this. I don't want to celebrate the pandemic, but I feel like, I shouldn't even say this, but sometimes you need to look for a rainbow in the situation. I feel like what this pandemic has done, just for a lot of people, was just reminded us to look inward on the things that we do have, and the more important things in life. Because what this allows us to do is, we can't go out every week. You can't just go out and blow a bunch of money and get drunk or do. I can, but some people can't just go out and blow a bunch of money and get drunk every night. So it's really been for me. For me, it's been a time to, I can write more. I can, how many friends I've built in this pandemic that I probably wouldn't have. My life would have probably been going so fast, so I never would have actually brought them in closer to me, because there was no reason to sit at home and talk with you.
All right, listen. Hey, before he continue to rat on,
I be ranting.
rant on, but we're gonna allow you to bring this show to a close, but on 3 things. So the first one,
3, Jesus,
yes. Hey, you know what? She came in with a wealth of knowledge and information, and I think it would be selfish of us not to have her put that out there. And we can direct people to the website, but we know how lazy some of y'all are. So y'all rather play Angry Birds than to do some real research. So anyway, general vaccine resources. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we don't just have COVID-19 vaccine resources. As I was saying earlier, we started out being about educating parents and families about children's vaccines. So all of those vaccines we have information about. We have our parents' guide that talks about the basics about vaccines, a lot of myths and a lot of questions that parents would have. You have a new baby, they need all these vaccines. And you're like, okay, this is a lot of information. These are a lot of shots that I have to give my kid. I need some information about this. I don't want to just take my baby to an appointment and they need all these vaccines. Come to our website. We have resources for you. We will provide them to you. We can send them to you. We can send you digital copies or hard copies. We have a parent's guide. We have a video series for new parents that teaches them about all the vaccines their kids are going to need between birth and age 12 months. It is geared specifically towards the Black and Latinx communities, but it is for everyone. They're very short videos, so nobody feels overwhelmed all at one time.
BoostOregon.org.
All right. Tell us about the community workshops.
Every month, we have community workshops. They used to be held in person, but due to the pandemic, they are virtual. You can sign up for those on our website as well, BoostOregon.org. And that's a place where we have our volunteer medical educators who are nurses, they're doctors, they're MDs, DOs, nurse practitioners. They will give a presentation about vaccines in general. We also have COVID-19 community workshops where they'll talk specifically about that. It's a safe environment to where you can come with questions and you'll get your questions answered. And you can come and get honest and factual, evidence-based information.
Okay, now, and one of the last things, volunteer medical educators.
Yeah, our volunteer medical educators, they don't get paid to do this. They put in all this time, hours and hours of time. They come to different locations and they give talks about vaccines. They do it virtually. They have all of these hours put in helping us, and they don't want to be paid. They don't want to take any money for this. They do this because they care. They do this because they have kids of their own, and they know what it was like when it was time to vaccinate, and they needed information. They want to make sure that their patients have information, and we are a very small organization. We function off of donations from community members, from volunteer work. We couldn't exist without that, and we're very thankful for them.
So for you guys listening in, listen, Boost Oregon empowers people to make science-based vaccine decisions for themselves. Listen, don't let us influence you.
Nope.
Don't let somebody else come in and tell you what you should or shouldn't do, all right?
Do your own research.
I want, you know what, if you're feeling like it, you know, if you're feeling like something, fate or something in the universe guides you, please donate. They are a 501c3 organization, and your donations are tax deductible, and it brings them closer to the world where health decisions are rooted in science. Listen, I'm gonna admit publicly, science was one of my, you know, my greatest things in school. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
You know, it helped it helped me out in some, you know, really good career fields, both legal and illegal. I mean, legal science is good. So if you can educate yourself with science and you know you understand, you know, man, I go up on a hill and I die by myself.
Not by your damn self, because I don't know what he's talking about, boy.
You know, but folks, listen, you don't have to believe anything that you've heard here. We're just asking that you go out and research.
Yeah. Just stop listening to other people. Go out and do your own research. And I'm glad you said that, Clint, because I don't want people to piggyback on what I said, man. Listen, I have my own personal views, and I'll share them. And you guys, just make sure you do your own research. Do what's best for you and your family. I don't like all this fear mongering. I don't like you. Listen, you're right. You don't got to listen to none of us. You're right. We are pro-vaccine, and I don't want y'all to think that we trying to come through the back door on this shit. We are pro-vaccine. Everybody in here. However, we are telling you, even if you're not, you don't have to listen to us. Do your own research. Do what's best for you and your family. You know you got elderly. You know you got if someone has a compromised immune system, you gotta put these pieces together yourself and then make the best decision for you. Okay, so I just wanted to throw that out, and I'll shut up.
Listen, you know what? I'm a disagree with you. I am not pro-vaccine.
You stay with an elderly person.
I'm not pro-vaccine. I'm anti-dying.
You know what, Clint? That's kind of shit right there. It's gonna get us in trouble. That kind of dumb shit right there.
I'm just saying. I'm just anti-dying. You know what? I got a 76-year-old father in my house.
That's like a springboard for me to get in trouble. I promise you, I'm gonna just.
It's all a setup, people. It's all a setup.
I'm gonna drink my damn drink. Go ahead.
No, and my dad is out there in the world. He's living his life. He drives where he wants to drive to.
So he's 76?
He's 76.
They're going to take his license in about 3 years.
Nah, you know what? I keep him straight. I keep him straight, giving him eye exams every day. But I think as long as he get his grits and eggs every morning, he good. But, it's not about what we think or what we believe. It's not about being pro or anti. If you want to live, go research the science. And if it makes sense to you, then it makes sense to you. Clinton, DeAngelo, we're not here to tell you to go get a shot.
I'm not.
We're just here to tell you we did. It didn't hurt. Oh, okay. It was a little sore later on that night, but I didn't die. And my whole thing is I want to enjoy the life that I'm living as much as possible.
And more than that, I want you to enjoy your life. And so I don't want to be a danger to you. So that's why I got it. Honestly, I'm not too worried. I don't get sick a lot.
He keep knocking on wood.
You're right.
You know that's not real wood, right?
I am from the South. I believe in superstitions. So goddamn, I never get sick, dog. I never get sick.
You know what? I'm going to tell you, the past, since this epidemic, I hadn't got sick, and I had my own regimen. And, of course...
Epidemic is the crap.
You know what I mean. After a couple of these glasses that y'all forced me to drink...
Clint, you old. That's why you be getting sick.
I don't get sick. That's what I'm telling you. I don't get sick. But I'm going to tell you, I have my own regimen of what I do. But I'm going to tell you, I went out there...
Centrum Silver.
Oh, you set yourself up for the next podcast there, buddy. Oh, you've been on my neck. That's okay. That's okay.
That's what you was doing.
You just wait. You just wait. It's coming. It's coming. I'm going to save them all up. But, ladies and gentlemen, this has been...
Well, you got an R in it.
You know what?
You got to learn
You know what? You've been on me.
Yeah,
you've been on me.
You let her finish.
I'm going to let her finish.
Okay.
But I'm going to tell you, this week, I'm going to be coming up with some stuff.
Clint, if you can remember it by next week, then fine. No, go ahead.
All right. Give us your final thought.
The main thing I want people to know is please be informed. Make sure that the information that you are reading or hearing is evidence-based and rooted in science. Make sure that you consider yourself, your families, the communities around you, and make the best decision for yourself. We have resources. Please check them out.
This has been another episode of 2 Cent the Podcast with your favorite uncle and this other fat dude over there. I'm going to get in trouble for that.
That ain't nothing but sexy.
Hey, we thank you guys for listening. If you have any questions, make sure you hit us up on our Instagram at 2 Cent the Podcast on Instagram and 2 Cent the Podcast on Facebook. And that's also on, what's the other thing that Donald Trump is not allowed to be on?
Oh, I don't think we on Twitter. What are we?
Yeah, we on Twitter. We on Twitter, too.
Hey, boostoregon.org. Don't forget it, guys.
Hey, don't forget it. Thank you guys for listening.
has been 2 Cents, the podcast, hosted by Clinton Washington, with co-host DeAngelo Gillespie, brought to you by Underway Entertainment and Pound the Pavement Productions. Thanks for listening.